All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're doing a complete system overhaul on your financial programming. We're going to explore some ideas that basically flip the script on everything you've probably been taught about saving, spending, and building wealth. Let's dive in.
So let me just start by asking you this. What if all the rules for building wealth, the ones your parents probably passed down, have totally changed, and nobody sent you the memo? Seriously, what if following those old rules is the very thing that's holding you back? I want you to think of your financial mindset like an operating system on a computer. For most of us, that OS was installed back in childhood and it hasn't had an update since. It's running old software, it's clunky, and it is full of bugs that are slowing down your progress. Well, today, we're installing the upgrade.
Okay, first things first, we have to diagnose the problem. We need to identify those outdated default settings that most of us are running on, probably without even realizing it.
Do any of these little financial bugs sound familiar? You know the classics. Save every single penny. All debt is dangerous. Cash in the bank is the safest place for your money. And of course, always hunt for a deal. I mean, they sound like pretty responsible advice, right? But here's the kicker. Each one has a hidden flaw, a little glitch that can seriously sabotage your potential to build real wealth.
So let's install our first patch. And this is a big one. It's all about completely rebooting our understanding of value. We're shifting the focus away from money and onto our most precious, finite resource, our time.
And this right here, this is the fundamental shift. The old buggy code asks, how many dollars does this cost? But the new code, the upgraded OS, asks, how many hours of my life does this cost? And trust me, when you start thinking that way, your decisions change dramatically. That $100 dinner, it's not just $100. It might be 5 hours of your life you are never getting back. Gone forever.
There's actually a name for this practice. It's called life hour pricing. And it's a simple but incredibly powerful calculation. You just take the price of something and divide it by your real hourly wage, and I mean what you actually earn after taxes, after your commute, all that stuff. It completely reframes the entire concept of what you can afford. And this quote just nails it. People who are truly focused on building wealth aren't just hoarding dollars. No, they are aggressively using their money to buy back their time. They use money to save hours because they know hours are the one thing you can't make more of.
Okay, let's move to our next upgrade, and this one might sound completely backward at first. We're about to deconstruct that old, ingrained idea that pinching pennies is the path to riches. This is something called the deal trap. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's when you drive across town just to save $5 on gas, or spend 30 minutes comparing prices online to save $2 on a book. Yeah, you saved a few bucks, but you lost your time, and more importantly, you drained your mental energy on a totally low-value decision.
So the proposed solution here is fascinating. It's called the abundance hack. Instead of hunting for deals, you strategically and on purpose overpay for small things. Think about rounding up a bill, not fighting a tiny fee, or buying the coffee right next door to save yourself a 15-minute walk.
Now, why on earth would you do that? Because it buys back your most valuable assets, your focus and your mental clarity. When your brain isn't cluttered with all these tiny, stressful financial decisions, you free it up to work on the big things, the ideas and the projects that actually build significant wealth.
This brings us to our final and probably most advanced update. This one is going to rewrite our entire understanding of financial safety, of risk, and yes, the role of debt.
The default setting for financial safety seems so simple, right? Just have a big pile of cash sitting in a savings account. It feels secure, it feels responsible, and you know what? In the old operating system, it was financial safety. But here's the glitch. Cash is risk. Because of inflation, the money in your savings account is losing purchasing power every single day. The little bit of interest it earns is almost always less than the rate of inflation, so your safe money is actually on a slow but guaranteed path to becoming worth less. And this changes everything about how we view the opposite of savings: debt. The old code just screams that all debt is bad, but the new code, it reframes it. Debt isn't just a burden, it can be rented speed. It's a tool that allows you to move so much faster than you could on your own. This is the debt glitch. And look, we are not talking about using credit cards for fancy vacations. This is about using leverage, other people's money, to buy an asset that grows in value or generates income, like a business or a rental property. You're using debt to accelerate your timeline to wealth.
So we've debugged the old code and we've examined all the patches. Let's summarize the key components of your newly installed Wealth operating system.
So here's your Wealth OS upgrade. 1. Price everything in time, your most valuable asset. 2. Spend strategically to reclaim your focus by getting rid of those low-value decisions. And 3. Use risk as a tool for speed, understanding that safe cash is a guaranteed loss, and smart debt can be a powerful tool for acceleration. You see how each of these builds on the last?
And remember, these are not just tips and tricks. This is a complete framework. Each idea builds on the others to create a whole new operating system for making decisions. It is a fundamental shift in how you interact with money, time, and risk. So this upgrade, it gives you a new architecture for wealth. It hands you the tools and it hands you the blueprints. The only question that remains is the most important one. Now that you have the new code, what are you going to build with it?